morning, Mr. Blessings.
Good morning, Kelvin. How are you?
I'm alright. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine.
Okay,
Fantastic.
that's good. Welcome to today's lovely show of What Else Can You Do? And on our guest today is a very familiar face. He's one of our presenters on UNZA TV, and not just that, he's the former president for the Ridgeway Debate and Speech Society. He's the former Minister of Justice at Ridgeway, UNZASU, and many other accolades that he has managed to achieve in his time at Ridgeway campus. Mr. Blessings, would you like to formally introduce yourself for the audience?
All right. Yeah. So my name is Kasenge Blessings. I'm in my seventh year. So as Kelvin rightly put it, I'm the founder as of the Ridgeway Debate and Speech Society, as well as the first president, and I'm also the outgoing, or the former now, because now elections have been held. So I'm the former Minister of Justice and Constitutional Affairs. Yeah. So basically, briefly, that's about Blessings.
Cool. So, Mr. Blessings, the reason why you are the guest today on our show is because you just recently finished you just finished presenting the national budget on Diamond TV, and you happen to be the winner of that debate. How how do you feel?
Actually, I'm very excited, Kelvin. I think being first, as I said, there were a lot of people that were there. Others were more specialized than I was. Others did economics. Others did accounting. So to emerge victorious for me it was a dream. It's not something that I really expected from the start. I wanted to go further in the competition, but not to win it because I didn't think I would win it. Yeah, but I thank God that I actually won the competition, and I won a cool 25,000 kwacha for myself.
Wow, that's amazing, man. And congratulations to you.
Thank you very much.
For those who may not know what we're talking about, could you just give them a brief background about the debate, what it's about, and what you had to do to get to where you are?
All right. Yeah, so the debate was being run by CTBD, which is the Center for Trade Policy and Development, as well as in conjunction with Diamond TV, and of course our other cooperating partners. So in this debate, our task was to firstly propose a national budget. So you basically put yourself in the shoes of a Minister of Finance and then come up with a national budget that you feel the country should be able to adopt. And so the first round, I think 74 were shortlisted. And from 74, it went down to the top 10. And then from the top 10, it went down to the top 5 and then to the top 3. So the debates were being done at Diamond TV, so we used to debate on different things. So the first day we debated basically on the policy sector reforms. So we basically talk about the sectors that you want to receive a certain share, and you justify why that sector should receive that certain share. And so the competition kept going on. So 50% was being determined by the judges, and the 50% was being determined by the public. So you had to get public votes as well as impress the judges. Yes, so it ran for 3 weeks. Yeah, and then the finale was on Wednesday. Yeah, so Wednesday was the finale, and I was in the top 3, and that's why I presented my final budget statement as well as the breakdowns of all the sectors, and yeah, I won.
That's amazing. How does a medical student find themselves debating in the on budget issues? Something you've clearly stated.
Yeah.
The economists were more equipped to do. Was it challenging, you being a medical student, having to debate finance as compared to perhaps your counterparts?
It was very challenging for me because just from the very start, I think the only thing that I knew, I love politics, of course, so I knew I had an idea of what sectors I would want to implement, or what sectors I would want to work on if I became Minister of Finance, but I didn't know that there was so much involved. So when I got there, I realized that there was a lot of economics at play. I had to read on macroeconomic policies, I had to read microeconomics, I had to read fiscal policy, I had to read monetary policy. So for me, it took a time of reading also. So it was really challenging because I had to mix that up with school, where I also had the exam at the same time, as well as I had to read about the budget and also formulate a budget. So formulating a budget really is a challenging process because it's accounts. So at the end of the day, you have the revenue side, you have the expenditure side. So the revenue side and the expenditure side must balance. So for you to spend the money, where are you getting the money from? Are you going to borrow? and then you know just what everyone says about borrowing as a nation. That's when I actually realized that to develop this country, we do definitely need to borrow something, because our income compared to our expenditure, they cannot balance up. We're actually importing more than we're exporting, so already there's an imbalance, and so our country is really in dire straits. So for me, that was basically how the competition was. Very challenging, but I thank God that I managed to pull through. I managed to understand, of course, with the help from different people, others medical students, others who are not even medical students. So I got quite a lot of help through it all, and together we did it.
How would you say this experience has changed you?
This experience has really changed me because it's given me, first of all, more knowledge on how the country is run in terms of finances. It's given me more knowledge on the budget itself, and also I think for personal growth, because when I look at how we're budgeting for the nation and when I bring it to a personal context, I'm actually seeing that there are a lot of dynamics that are involved for you to achieve certain projects, how to invest money. So I've learned a lot about entrepreneurship, about investment, and generally about the economics of the nation, and also my personal economics. So it has really changed me, changed my view on a lot of things. And being a medical student, I feel one thing that really lacks, and not only medical students, but even other students, especially here at Ridgeway campus, is that we don't have the entrepreneurship background. So that also gave me a picture to say, you could actually take up something to do with entrepreneurship. You can take up something to do with project management. You need to be able to know how to manage a certain project, or how to invest your money so that it reproduces itself and you're able to invest in other things. So for me, that's basically how it has changed my life.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And indeed, it is important that we learn about how to handle our money, how to balance our finances.
Yes.
Last but not the least, you recently were nominated to take part in another debate that's happening in Tanzania, and you are scheduled to leave today for that debate. Could you briefly tell us about that?
Yeah, so rightly as you have put it, Kelvin, I also got involved in a certain debate. So basically, we're debating about the African Continental Free Trade Area. So the African Continental Free Trade Area is a policy that has been implemented by all African countries except Eritrea, of course. And it's why they have agreed that they'll be able to export different goods between them without having to charge each other import duties and all those taxes and tariff barriers. So we're basically debating about the African Continental Free Trade Area. So the first round was regional. So it was Southern African region. And so we debated with colleagues from other parts of the country, from Namibia, from Zimbabwe. And I emerged victorious. So I was picked actually from Zambia to now go on to the continental debate. So for the continental debate, they wanted one person each, from Southern Africa, from North Africa, from East Africa. So after debating the continental, I also emerged victorious, and I was picked to represent the Southern African region at the ULEAD Summit and Policy Bootcamp. So it's basically a 2 weeks program. So the first week, we'll be learning about leadership, entrepreneurship, and policy making. And then in the second week, that's when the summit itself is going to start. So the summit will be graced by many African leaders, prominent African leaders like Paul Kagame, like Uhuru Kenyatta, the president of Tanzania herself. So it's really...
So, what advice do you have for young people?
Yeah, so the advice that I have for young people is that, in your capacity as a young person, you can actually make a difference. And don't limit yourself as to just how much you can achieve. There's so much potential in each one of us. There's so much potential to explore the world out there. There's so much potential to also improve on your weaknesses. Something that you may see as your weakness can actually turn out to be your strength if you work on it. And so that's the approach that we young people should take. And we should have confidence in ourselves as young people that we can actually make a difference in our various sectors. We can make a difference in our various subspecialties and specialties. So it's all about confidence, all about determination, and really going for it. If you feel it, go for it. That's the advice that I have for young people.
Amazing. Well, congratulations and all the best. Blessings.
Thank you very much, Gil.